Good morning. You are listening to UpReach, a morning devotional presented by the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee, to encourage you as you face the opportunities and challenges of today. Let's begin this day together with some inspiring thoughts from God's holy word.
Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue, and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 and 8. What is our general attitude toward life and toward the Lord's church? Do we look for something to criticize, or do we look for something to praise? For instance, do we jump on the mistakes and the inadequacies that are bound to be present during the worship times of the church? Or do we comment on the parts which are well done, stressing that a very creditable attempt has been made to give honor and praise to God, even if it did not reach professional standards? Do we encourage or discourage? When some course of action is suggested, do we promptly see all the difficulties which make it impossible, or do we see the possibilities which make it well worth trying? Do we count our blessings, or do we count our misfortunes? Adler, the famous psychologist, tells of two men, each of whom lost an arm. At the end of a year, one of them was so discouraged that he had decided that life was not worth living with a handicap like that. The other was so triumphant that he went about saying that he really did not know why nature had given us two arms when he could get along perfectly well with one. Do we thank God for what we have, or do we curse God for what we have lost? Do we look on a difficult situation as a disaster or an opportunity? It is worth recalling again that Sir John Reith, the first director of the British Broadcasting Company, used to say, "I do not like crises, but I do like the opportunities they provide." Do we regard a crisis as a time to sit down and wail, or a time to rise up and act? What about you today? What is your outlook on life? Does the glass always seem to be half empty or half full? Just remember, what you get out of life is always in direct proportion to what you put into it. Why not ask God to lead you today by His Spirit to see Him, and thus to see the good in people and in the circumstances you face?
This has been UpReach, a presentation of the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee. I am Kyle Bolton, the pulpit minister at Church Street, and I would like to personally invite you to come and share times of Bible study and worship with us each week. We meet every Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. for our morning worship, followed by our Sunday school for all ages at 10:15 a.m. Then we meet again at 6 o'clock p.m. for our evening worship. We also have a midweek meeting for devotion and Bible study on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.
As far as the east is from the west, as far as the worst is from the best, as far as the future's from the past, as far as the first is from the last, He is holy. I'm unworthy. He is faithful in all of His ways. He is worthy. I'm unholy. He has taken my sins away. And oh, how far He's taken my sins away from me.